Hi, I'm Teresa Durham with Project Management TV, and I am here with Bill Briggs. Bill, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your interest in project management?
Sure. So, Bill Briggs, APS Consulting. We're a sourcing advisory and vendor management company, helping customers go through the entire vendor management, vendor selection, RFP process, and management of the vendors on the tail end for the governance side of things. I've got about 15 to 20 years experience in project management, program management, and my interest really is in looking at things from a governance perspective. So looking at insight versus oversight from a governance, and that's really where I think the executive program management dashboard really comes in that we're talking about today.
Okay, great. So we're here at Executive Program Management Dashboards, and we just saw a demo of the products and services that they offer. What do you think about that? Let's see, in particular, the balanced scorecard.
So the balanced scorecard, I thought, was it was a interesting way to apply some management methodology to an area where a lot of times project managers and executives struggle today, which is really looking at where are they currently at in a particular project's life cycle. So are they where are they at from a timeline perspective, and where are they at from a cost perspective, and are they going to actually meet the objectives of the project? Are they going to be overrun? And then from a much larger perspective, the dashboard gives you a portfolio perspective. So it gives you, if you've got multiple projects as an executive or an executive sponsor, it allows you to actually go out and look at, from the health of the entire portfolio. And there's really not a lot of products that are doing that today.
Sure. So would you say this is a significant value add to the PMO or the executive in a company with a PMO?
I would say that it's definitely an additional set of tools that can give you some ability to do some proactive planning and trending where you may not have had that before in the tools that you were using as part of your project teams.
Okay, great. So this tool incorporates earned value management in your field, and as you're working with your customers. How frequently how much do you think they could benefit from using a tool that evaluated earned value management?
I think it would be extremely helpful. I think the challenge today is that most companies and their PMOs think they are mature, even though they may not be mature. And I think the earned value really brings a sense of maturity that if they really look at the value that can bring them, it's going to be a tool that when they do implement and they do use it, is going to give them some insight, and helping overcome some of the oversight being reactive.
Yes.
So it's going to give them some predictability versus reaction.
Yes, I think we could all benefit from predictability. So what about some of the other tools that were displayed in the demo today?
So the Gantt chart, I thought Gantt chart, going back to maturity of PMOs and maturity of organizations and project managers, I think from a simplicity standpoint, a lot of times the tools out there are overkill, and as a result, Microsoft Project is an example. Lots of features, lots of value, lots of benefits to the tool itself. But if you have a very junior project manager who may not know the tool that intimately, it can be overwhelming as well as frustrating.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you may not get the results from the management. What I've seen happen is that they will actually throw the tool aside or look for additional help. But I think the Gantt chart, what it does is it allows you to use simple tools that they're probably supplementing things like Microsoft Project with anyway, from day-to-day management of different activities like Excel. So Gantt chart being something that from an Excel standpoint really provides a template or an overlay to give you a framework, I thought was a very beneficial tool. And I think younger organizations or organizations that are managing a number of smaller projects that
less
are
complex.
less complex will certainly benefit from that.
Okay. Tell me what you think about today. Just give me a summation of what you think about what you saw today.
So I think what I've seen today is definitely innovative. I think Dennis is being with the company is not only being innovative but is stimulating a lot of thought. So being a thought leader around the portfolio management. I can tell you from my experience working with some very large companies. When I say large, Fortune 100 companies that you would think from a maturity standpoint have the most mature program management offices and project management offices, that the way Dennis is thinking is the way they need to be thinking, but they aren't. So what they're thinking about today, and a lot of it has to do with organizational structure. It has to do with silos. It has to do with accounting. It has to do with accountability. And from an organization standpoint, they don't look at the portfolio. They don't look at the projects at a holistic perspective. I think the tools and the innovation that Dennis is bringing enables those executives to do that. So the message is there. The tools are there. He has the ability to provide the training. He has the ability to provide executive consulting, mentoring to program management offices, to executives. The key is for them to embrace that and accept it and get the benefits and the value of it. And that's really what it amounts to.
Pretty much. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate it.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you.
Again, this is Teresa Durham with Project Management TV, and I am here with Dr. Frank L. Harper, professor, author, and strategic hustler. This here is his latest book. It's titled Agile Leadership with a Grip. Dr. Harper, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and the role that project management plays in your life?
Sure. First of all, I'm passionate about project management. I have over 20 years of actual formal project management leadership experience. I worked in both corporate and division level PMOs in terms of creating them, improving them, maintaining them. I've worked with Center of Excellence for Business Process Management and Business Intelligence. All of that is focused on the project management discipline. I apply it to everything that I do. Everything I do, whether it be personal, professional, organizational, from a business perspective.
Okay, so today we saw a presentation given by Executive Program Management Dashboards, and so you got to look at some of their products and training offerings. So what do you think about the products that you saw, maybe the dashboard?
Okay, I think from a global standpoint, both the project and service offering was very innovative. The projects, the product. Finally, someone has taken something near and dear to my heart, the balanced scorecard, which allows the manager to be proactive and applied it to the project management discipline. And so in terms of the dashboard, I thought it was a very innovative project. It's very intuitive, it's simple, it's easy to use, and I think it will allow your portfolio managers to stay ahead of the curve. That is, whether you're the director of the portfolio management, or for some companies who have a category portfolio manager. Again, it will allow them to really stay ahead of the curve and keep their finger on the pulse in terms of where are we in terms of our projects, and are we really in alignment with our strategic objectives.
So based on your experience with all the companies that you've worked with worldwide, would you say that the companies typically use earned value management and KPIs in their decision-making process?
Well, I think that's what makes this product on the bleeding edge. Okay, my experience with earned value management has been geared toward the government. It's almost as if it's a foreign language when it comes to businesses. Okay? And so with the way that the earned value management has been introduced through the product, it's very simple. It's very simple. In fact, what I liked about it is that if a person doesn't understand the earned value KPIs, they understand colors.
Yes.
They understand colors, and it's very simple. It's very simple. So if they understand colors, the natural progression will be to learn about the metrics.
Yes.
But it's a good, excellent approach.
Great, great. So what about some of the other tools that you saw today? Anything else kind of spark some interest?
Yes, I like the Gantt chart. I like the Gantt chart because my experience, I've worked with startups to multinational corporations, and from a startup perspective, when you don't have people who understand the de facto project management product that is Microsoft Project or Microsoft Project Server. Either it's cost prohibitive, it's too expensive. And so with the Gantt chart product, it feeds right into, it leverages the Excel technology, and it's a lot easier to use. It's a lot easier to use, and that's really what we want. We want something that's easy to use, that's functional, and allows them to get the job done.
Okay. And there was also an agile product, Sprintometer.
Yeah, my experience though with agile. As I was looking at that product, it ties in really nicely. I have a philosophy about any kind of software. If you can understand the process manually, then the software just automates that process.
Yes.
And so when I was looking at that product and listening to the training, it was again very intuitive, very simple. There were certain questions that I had, and it's almost as they were reading my mind. That is, when you look at a sprint team or an agile team, it can vary. It can vary. They said you've got three major areas. Three major players. You have the Scrum Master, you have the product owner, and then you have the team. Well, that team could be, depending on what the product is, it can be a mixture, a mosaic of different skill set.
Yes.
And so the tool allows you to address that. In addition to that, with the user stories, okay, the tool allows you to score the user stories, and it helps you in terms of how you're going to do your budgeting, your planning, your setting up the backlogs and those kinds of things there. So I thought it's a very, very good tool.
Yes, great. So in summary, just of everything that you've seen today from executive program management dashboards, what do you think?
Well, let me just talk about the presenter, okay, Dennis Wiggins. And so when I think of Dennis, who I've just met, for this presentation, three words come to my mind. You have visionary, a thought leader, and an intelligent risk taker. Okay, and so those qualities are demonstrated in his products, okay? in his products. And the fact that in terms of being visionary, he understands that the complexity in earned value management, but he also understands that it's critical, okay, in terms of companies being very successful.
Yes.
And so he's removed the complexity. Thought leader. Well, there are a number of companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies, and even foreign companies. They think they're doing portfolio management correctly, okay, but they're not. Okay, and so what happens is this tool set, will again initiate some new thought, get them to think outside the box.
Yes.
Okay, and in terms of intelligent risk taker, when you step into the unknown, okay, when you step into the unknown, it's always a risk. But the intelligence of that is that when you talk about earned value management, it's not anything new.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
it's just giving you a different viewpoint to look at it differently. And so I thought that was very good. And in addition to that, in terms of the person, when I look, and that we talked about the products, but also the offering, the services, the training. Okay, it's the company is set up where they're just not going to take this product and just drop it on your desk and say, okay, you'll go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. They have really good experts in terms of understanding not only the product but also the methodology behind it.
Yes.
So you can take a product and you can put it into an organization, but at the end of the day, does it fit the culture?
Right.
Does it fit the culture? And if it doesn't fit the culture, what are you going to do about that? And so I think they've got a really good finger on the pulse for rolling out products into various organizations.
Right, and sounds like they're on the right track.
Exactly.
Here with Dennis Wiggins, CEO of Executive Program Management Dashboards. So, Dennis, how did your presentation go today?
I thought it went very well. We had two executive level individuals here with Bill Briggs, with CEO of A Project Success, and Dr. Harper with his organization as well. He is CEO as well. I thought that we got some very positive feedback and some very strong input associated with our products and services. I'm going to be getting together with them on a one-off level and discuss possible affiliate programs and joint ventures and things like that, and see what sort of synergies we can bring to the table and try to propel both organizations into increased market share.
Great, sounds like it was a success.
I believe it was a success. We had some minor technical difficulties in the beginning, but
That happens with technology.
no, you're exactly right, technology.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for inviting us here to be with you today.
Well, I want to thank Project Management TV. I think it's a great concept, and I'm quite sure you guys are going to be very successful in the very near future.
We hope so. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.